Welcome to an educated circuit. Today we are flying the 737. The 737 is the most produced and longest running aircraft production, running for 58 years and building over 12,000 units. The 737 series started with the 100. The 100 was a smaller 727 with engines relocated to the wings and the centre engine removed. The 737-100 could carry 118 people. They started flying first with Lufthansa in early 1968. One of the major improvements over the 737 was not only increased fuel efficiency, but also clamshell thrust reversers, allowing the aircraft to operate offshore runways. After the 100 came the 200 in late 1968. The 200 came with a stretched fuselage, automatic wheel brakes, and improved aerodynamics, which allowed for a 15% payload increase. The 737-200 also came with the optional gravel kit, which helped prevent foreign objects from entering the aircraft when landing on an unpaved runway. The 737-200 is still used today in northern Canada, operating as a freighter with Buffalo Airways and the Scombi aircraft with Canadian North. The 737-100 and 200 were known as the originals. After that came the classics, which were the 300, the 400 and the 500. The 737-300 came with the major improvements of winglets, the CFM56 high bypass engine increasing thrust and fuel efficiency, and the passenger capacity was also increased to 149 by adding 9.5 feet to the middle of the fuselage. The 737-300 also came with revolutionary new electronic flight information systems, EFISs, which displayed the regular six-pack of instruments with a CRT display and also a moving map to replace the course direction indicator, CDI. The 737 also had a 737-300 SP for special performance, which was a higher performance than the 737-300. In order to fill the gap between the 737-200 and the smaller 757, the 737-400 was created, with a further 10 feet added to the fuselage to increase passenger capacity to 188 in a single class configuration. In February 1990, Boeing released the 737-500 to replace the 737-200 with a more modern version. It was requested by Southwest, who needed a smaller aircraft to fit their point-to-point business model. The 737-500 was 1 foot 5 inches longer than the 737-200 and offering a 25% increase in fuel efficiency. The 737-500 was the last of the classic series before the new generation or NG series was released. The NG series of aircraft came with an increased maximum takeoff weight and a fully glass cockpit. With the A320 becoming a larger threat and the MD-80 out of the picture, the NG was prioritised to be more modern and easy to operate for the flight crew. The first of the NG series was the 737-600, which was the smallest of the NG series, designed to replace the 737-500. It had no winglets and at the time was designed to be a direct competitor to the Airbus A318.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Burchell,
The 737-700 was the first released of the NG series as a replacement for the 737-300 and a competitor to the Airbus A319. The 737-700 seats up to 149 passengers. The 737-800 is the most common of the 737 variants. If you have flown on an airliner recently, it was probably a 737-800. The 737-800 is a stretched version of the 737-700, sitting up to 189 passengers. It filled the gap by the end of the MD-90 production and competed with the Airbus A320. The 737-900 was the longest 737-800 but with the same max takeoff weight and fuel capacity, and traded the range for capacity. The 737-900 was a complete failure. After the 737-900, they introduced the 900ER to try and save the 900 model by increasing range, emergency exits, max takeoff weight and power. The 900ER flopped as well, but it did do better than the 900. After the 737-900, Boeing came out with the 737 MAX series to try and compete with the A320neo family. They released the MAX 7, 8 and 9. After the 737-900, Boeing came out with the 737 MAX series to try and compete with the A320neo family. They released the MAX 7, 8, 9 and 10, but only the MAX 8 and 9 have seen the light of day so far, with the MAX 7 and 10 ongoing certification. You can't talk about the 737 MAX without talking about the early crashes. A series of 737 MAXes where the aircraft flew itself into the ground with an angle of attack error. The 737 has had a long and distinguished life, and the Boeing 797 is speculated to be a replacement. but it is far in the
40,
future as the 737 Maxes are only
20.
brand new.
10.
I would like to thank you for watching and maybe watch one of these other videos on screen. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.